Hi, welcome back to a minisode of IBLO Love Orange.
Yeah, welcome back. I'm excited.
How are you? How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
Good.
good. I'm still hot. The last time we recorded, I was hot. Today, I'm also hot. I
I'm
think the
cold.
weather is just going crazy. But I got some hella good stories for today's minisode.
I've got two medium length ones. They're not full length for the normal episodes, but I thought they were really interesting and weird, so I thought I'd leave them for the minisode.
Okay, so I'm gonna arrange mine around you then because I have 5. So I'll say 2, you
Yeah.
say 1, I'll say 1, you say 1, I'll say
Okay.
2.
Okay.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
Don't know why I said that on the
I
podcast,
have a
just
creepy
to
things.
confuse
I have one
everyone.
creepy things kids say though, as well.
Oh,
Do you
lush.
want
Do
to
you
hear
want to
that
start with that?
first? Yeah. Let me find
Yeah,
that
give us
page.
that just to... Let's open our legs up with that.
Okay, let me find that again.
Do you know what? That did not sound right. Open our legs up to a creepy kid's thing to say. That is not
I
what I meant.
I didn't pick up on it until you just reiterated, so I'm a
I
bit
did not
confused.
mean that.
This one's a really short one, okay, and I thought it was just
Okay,
creepy. So,
okay.
my 3-year-old son was softly singing while he was colouring. I stopped to listen, but I'd never heard that song before. I asked where he learned it, and he said, "The lady in my bedroom sang it to me."
Ugh.
Imagine that. As the
Uh,
parent of a 3-year-old. I mean, a 3-year-old, he doesn't go to school yet. He's always with you. Where else is he going to learn stuff? If you didn't teach
do
it
you
to
know
him,
what?
where else is he going to learn it?
Oh, kids are weird. Kids have got to be weird. That's weird. Kids are weird. Don't
Kids are
have kids.
creepy.
Kids are weird.
Kids are creepy.
Ugh, that's sufficiently creepy. I did. When I was looking up crimes for the last podcast, I did see one and about a little boy or a little girl who was a next door neighbour of somebody, and I don't know, she was talking about Matt coming into her room all the time and turning her lights off. And then I realised it was kind of a paranormal case, but the neighbours get involved, and then Matt starts harassing both two families. Kids are weird.
Kids are weird.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't know. That was a good one to start with. I've got some short ones, some short stories. I'm gonna give you 2. I'll give you a short one and a long one. How's
Okay,
that?
okay.
Okay, so a little one, from Negative Clank on Reddit. I think he was a sailor, and he said, "We once found a sailboat adrift after a storm in the Atlantic with nobody aboard. We decided to tow it to Florida. A couple of us later went aboard to attach the line. There was a foot of water and tons of bondage porn floating around in it. Never found out who the owner was. We reported it, but it just got left in the harbour." And then he put, "We thought that should count as nautical booty." How stupid.
It's so weird. That is
Some
so
random
weird.
bondage porn for you. So, yeah, I don't know. I just found that funny. It's so interesting. What an interesting job to have. Go and put that on the line and find some nautical porn.
I love
Well,
it.
bondage porn.
Nautical
Um,
porn.
no, so not. So weird. I have another one. Anonymous Defense JD. I think he's a defense attorney. I know, it's such a cool username. Anonymous Defense JD. Anyway, throwaway because it did get some media, but I'm a criminal defense attorney. I was representing this guy that had embezzled almost $500,000 from his business partner.
Whoa.
He was looking down the barrel at several years in prison, and a bunch of his assets had been seized by the government because he was being sued by multiple creditors for north of $2 million.
Right.
He was in the midst of an ugly divorce and he wasn't allowed to see his kids. I was one of 3 lawyers he had at the time, a criminal, civil, and divorce lawyer that were all working his case. He was drinking a lot and was using cocaine. I used to get incoherent phone calls in the middle of the night from him that would range from threats to my life to just outright crime. He came to my office one day and asked for me, but I was in court. My secretary said that he was perfectly civil and had a nice demeanour. Turns out he went to his divorce lawyer's office and shot him to death. Got stopped by the police a short distance away and was wounded in a shootout. He would later tell the cops that he had come to my office to shoot me that day and also planned to shoot his civil attorney too.
What the hell?
How Oh, that's so creepy.
These people are just trying to help.
I know, his attorneys, bless him, and this guy's obviously in a really bad state, so that was it. He was just going to kill everyone.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, it was dark. So yeah, there's two. There's a little taster of what I
A little
have in store for you.
taste, a little taste.
A little sheep. Little sheep.
Okay. So I got a story that I wanted to make into a main story because I just thought it was really interesting, but it just wasn't long enough. So here we go. Ready?
Okay.
So this happened in France, and it wasn't so long ago. I think it was like 2018,
Okay.
maybe?
Okay.
When two men enjoying a summer dinner of roasted beef and canned beans dropped dead
Ooh.
in
Oh.
Anthon du Perche. Okay.
Oh,
The
beautiful.
French village found itself in the center of what seemed to be a sinister mystery that gripped the country.
Okay.
Do you think they just dropped dead? They're just eating dinner and they just dropped dead.
I mean, I do feel rude because when you first described the dinner, I was like, oh, lovely. And then you said they dropped dead, and I was like, oh, whoops, I just fantasized.
Okay, so neither the body of Oliver Baudin, 38, found lying on his back on the ground, or that of Lucien Perron, 69, sitting at the terrace table. Sitting at the terrace table before a half-finished plate, some camembert, a partly eaten baguette.
I love camembert, Jess.
I know.
Sorry, I am not taking this crime seriously. I am so sorry. No disrespect.
It's weird though. It's weird. A partly eaten baguette and a glass of wine showed signs of an attack or a fight, and there was no indication of a break-in or a robbery. So one of them's the younger one, 38, is lying on his back. Fell off the chair, lying on his back. Oui.
Okay.
The older one was still sitting at the table dead in front of his half-eaten plate of food, and the table was still set, and no one had broken in, and there was no signs of any attack or fight or anything like that.
Okay.
So what are you thinking?
I don't know, it must be poisoned, right? The food must be poisoned.
So a neighbour spotted them at 6 a.m. last Thursday, as if I was there, on the Thursday at Perrault's home. She assumed they were sleeping off the effects of a boozy evening the night before and left them.
Oh, wonderful. Someone's fell off the back of their chair and she's just like, yeah, it's fine, they're chill.
This is a quote. She said, at first I told myself that they must be pretty drunk to still be sleeping. Then when I saw Lucien sitting at the table a bit later, I thought it must have been an extremely drunken evening.
She could not give up on the fact that this definitely was just a drunk thing.
Yeah. At midday, the same woman realised the two men had not moved a muscle and tried without success to rouse them, only to discover they both had died. Perhaps, speculated neighbours and the police, the tin of preserved beans was contaminated, bringing on a swift and fatal case of botulism. Poisoning.
Right, thanks for that clarification.
Detectives dispatched it, along with the camembert, the beef, the bread and the wine, to the Pasteur Institute of Paris for analysis, right? So they were sent to the lab, basically.
Okay.
But the test for poison came back negative. Nothing was poisoned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so how have they died? Isn't it weird?
I mean, I hope you have an answer because
I
this
do.
is weird.
I do, and it's really weird.
Oh, great. Okay, good. Okay.
The local mayor, Patrice, I can't say it, Lariguet,
Beautiful.
told journalists the dinner scene looked as if it was that time had suddenly stopped. And on Wednesday, after days of speculation across France, the cause of the twin deaths was revealed. Are you ready?
Oh, yes.
Post-mortem suggests that the older man, who had more than 2.4 grams of alcohol in his blood, had choked after trying to swallow 44 grams of a piece of beef without chewing it properly, reportedly due to having several teeth missing. And they said that the younger man, who had a genetic heart condition, had a heart attack because he was seeing his friend die and didn't do anything.
Oh,
and that's how they died.
So sad.
That's how they died.
I really do mean no disrespect when I laugh at that because that is tragic. Just some of those details are wow. I mean,
so
no
basically,
teeth and
there was this
not
big
chewing
thing.
enough meat.
There was this big thing the whole of Paris, I want to say then, France. I tried to like combine France and Paris. The whole of France was like wondering like how on earth has this mystery happened? Like how has someone killed these two people with nothing? Like, there's no break-in,
That's
nothing like that. And
amazing.
then they were basically like, well, the one dude choked on some beef. And
Because he had no
the other
teeth.
guy, yeah, the other guy was like, just instead of going to help, just panicked and had a heart attack and died.
I mean, I can relate because you have no teeth and I would panic.
I'm only missing one tooth, thank you very much. I have all of the other teeth.
All right, you keep selling that.
Do you know what? I only had to lose that tooth, right? Because the dentist messed that up. It was fine before. See, I
Yeah.
think it's all dentist's fault. I think your teeth are fine. And then the dentist was
Yeah,
like,
okay.
oh, love, you need a fill in there. She put a fill in, absolute agony. I was like, just take it out. It's done.
This is coming from a girl who like has chicken nuggets on drip.
Look,
No, that was a great case. That was interesting.
isn't it
It's
cool?
only funny because when we do the minisode, we both kind of have a pretty laugh about things. So I
Yeah.
don't know,
We're
something's
in a
just really
goofy
funny
mood.
about that.
We're in a goofy mood.
And also the woman just being like, "Whoa!" Like they're just really like fucked up from a night before. Like, wow, she's like really admiring the fact, like, "Whoa, they're still sleeping." Shit, like, whoa,
In
nice.
exactly the same position. And then eventually she's like, oh, they did.
I mean, the one thing that would give that away in my case would be that if you came to my house and I had unfinished cheese on the table and was asleep, I think you
Yeah.
would immediately
I would
know,
be
like,
like, he's dead.
whoa,
He's dead.
yeah, straight away.
There's,
No, something's
there is
happening.
no way that the
Josh
cheese
doesn't leave.
lasts in that house.
Yeah, no way. I would damn.
What a
I would
lovely
throw
evening,
up.
though. What a lovely evening to be on a terrace with your little garden terrace
Yeah.
chairs and you're having roast beef and some cheese and some baguette and some wine. Stunning. What a stunning way to die.
I mean, I'd be livid if my friend just like didn't chew his meat enough and it sent me into such a panic that I died. Oh, terrible. Okay, that was great. Jess, that was a really good one. I
Good.
love that one. That's perfect minisode episode. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, I'm gonna try. I don't think I can one up you, but I'm gonna give you one,
Uh-huh.
and then please give me another. So, this is from Slow Hockey 451.
Nice.
So, I'm gonna let that
Slow
rest there.
hockey.
It says, my dad has a client that owns a number of fast food restaurants. One day we were working at one of his stores, remodeling and talking about some of the robberies that happened. The client told us that when he was getting into the fast food business, he lived in Colorado, he was an assistant manager at a chain that required him to wear a tie. A drug addict came into the restaurant to attempt to rob them and grabbed him from behind, putting a knife to his throat. He opened the register and the guy took the money, but not wanting to leave any what's the word? Any eyewitnesses,
Oh, right.
attempted to slit his throat anyway. Unfortunately, the knife he was carrying was too dull and couldn't cut through the material of the man's tie. The client began to
Jesus.
fight back and escape with minor injuries. The addict went to prison, and now the guy we were talking to has the tie in a frame at his home. It
Oh
saved
my
his life.
God. Nice. Nice.
And how cool is that? His McDonald's tie like saved
This
his
is
life
so
because it was so
random.
thick.
Kind of like, one of those things. But my brother, when he was like really young, I don't know, probably like
Mhm.
3 or 4, when we used to live in a different house, he leaned over a garden fence and he got a massive splinter stuck in his side. And it went like really far kind of like his hip, just above his hip. And with like all my grandparents tried to get it out, no one can get it out. They had to take it to hospital. They had to have it like operated on to get the splinter out. And we still have it. I found it the other day.
That's really odd.
It's like kept in a little tube. It's like taped to a piece of foam in this little tube. It's still really long. Like considering they tried to get it out and it was like snapping off, and like as people were trying to get it out, it kept snapping, and that's why they had to take him to the hospital. But it's still like fairly long.
Yeah, wow. That is that. I mean, the fact that it happened doesn't bother me. The fact that you still have it is strange.
I still have the
It's
pins that were in my arm when I broke my arm when I was young.
I feel like you could do like voodoo with it.
Probably. I might try that
Yeah,
later.
be interesting. Oh my god, yeah, please do.
Uh,
Upload your results to Twitter for us.
yeah, my voodoo experiments. Right, is it my turn?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so here's the next one I've got. It's not as good as the first one. I'm gonna say it. I'm just, whatever. It's kind of creepy though. It was like very real life creepy. Okay, anyway, it's by
Mm.
Wispy. That was the name I got from this one, Wispy.
Oh, nice.
Um, it says, I'm not very good at storytelling, but I'll try for this story. It happened just after my 13th birthday. I just moved to Tampa, Florida, and I was living with my stepdad and siblings in a trailer park. Sounds like the life. I was with one of my sisters who was 12 at the time, and if you live in Florida, you know it's hot and stuffy and how hot and stuffy it gets. We had zero energy and we were just sitting on some swings in a playground opposite the trailer park. We noticed a car that had been slowly driving down the road had stopped near us. It was
Mm.
bottle green and had 4 doors. Someone rolled down the driver's window and we could see there was a woman who looked about 40. She was wearing tinted sunglasses, had thick gold rings on her fingers, and was smoking. We couldn't see exactly where she was looking because of her sunglasses, but she was looking in our direction. We tried to ignore her, but me and my sister kept looking at each other and smirking. Eventually, she threw a cig out the window and called us. I just thought it was funny that, like, she threw a cig out the window. Oh, God. And she called out to us, asking for directions to a Walmart. But when we told her, she said she couldn't hear us because she was deaf in one ear. She said, "Come and tell me here." So they had to go over to the car, which is scary.
Okay.
Being stupid, me and my sister did. And she started chatting to us about how pretty we were, and she told us to never wear makeup because we're natural beauties. Throughout this
Oh.
conversation, she called us sweetie and honeys, which are pet names I hate, so I was cringing. She then drove off again, but as she did, we saw her drop something out the window. Obviously, me and my sister wait for her to turn around the corner, and then we went to look what she threw out, because we're nosy and there's nothing else to do. When we turned it over, something was written on it, and 6 years later, I still remember what it said. It was along the lines of bring $20 to, and it had an address, and we will drive to Disneyland on, and then it said a date. Me and my sister immediately looked at each other and both had the same what the fuck reaction. We knew the woman had obviously thrown out the window on purpose for us to look at. We immediately went home and showed our stepdad, but he just skimmed at it and didn't take it as seriously as we expected it to. Although we never saw the car of the woman again, we eventually went to the address with our other sister and a bunch of friends. How stupid can you be?
Oh.
How stupid can you be? Because we wanted to see where it was. It turned out it was actually in a really nice neighborhood, which we all found really weird because we were all expecting it to be sketchy as the woman. She said that they didn't knock on the door of the house or anything, but they were because they were convinced someone was going to drag them in.
Mm.
But isn't that scary? That's a real life plot, like a kidnapping plot being,
Wow.
taking place there.
Oh, that is so creepy. But you say that 1,000,000%. If we were out and we found a note like that and had that weird experience, we would go drive by that house.
Yeah, even as adults. I think if we were
100%.
kids, I would fully be
100%.
in. I'd be like, yeah, let's go to Disneyland.
100%. I mean, drag me in the house. Take me away. Just, take me to Disney.
I find it funny that
Great.
she's like, bring $20. Like, if you're going to kidnap me, why do you need the
Yeah.
money? And only 20?
Yeah, whatever scheme you're playing, why do you want my $20? Like, if
Yeah.
you're going to sell me,
I'm a
excuse
kid. Do you
you.
think I have $20? I know. I'm literally 13 years old
You're
now.
gonna lose business because I have to now go and find $20. Yeah, no way. It's not
It's
happening.
funny. It's funny.
I'll buy my own Disney ticket.
Yeah,
Like a
exactly.
skank.
Especially living in Tampa.
Okay.
It annoyed me more that she lives in Tampa and called it Disneyland, not Disney World.
Oh yeah, she didn't give it the correct
That really
name.
annoyed me when I read that story first. I was like, ew.
Yeah, how dare you be privileged to live so close
No,
and
no.
then
And then,
mislabel it.
yeah, misname
Disgusting.
it. Use his dead name.
I have two more. I don't know
Go.
if they're going to be any good now. I think yours have been really interesting. Okay, so another guy that I was reading, I've got to tell you this stupid username. The username is I am And it's like I underscore am underscore pooping underscore now underscore AMA. So I'm gonna take this with a little bit of salt. But someone said that once I was doing plumbing work in someone's house. It was a really expensive condo, and they had a secret office that had a secret one-way mirror that looked into the guest shower. Creepy as fuck.
Yeah, that is really
Disgusting.
creepy. Yeah.
And you just know that that's real, and
Ugh.
it's so gross to think. And that the reason I wanted to add that in is because that really reminded me of how I can't remember what that website's called where you can go stay in someone's house.
Oh yeah.
Airbnb, and they're
Airbnb, and
having
then they have all the
cases of people
cameras.
being filmed. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
Shout out to Shane
obviously,
Dawson.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. And then Shane Dawson did that video where he showed you all the different cameras that somebody could have. And then recently, those cases have like boomed of people being like, "Oh, there was a camera somewhere. There's a hidden camera somewhere." Fucking
Yeah.
gross. So yeah,
Yeah,
take
it's
care.
gross.
Take care when you go say something like that.
Check for
Okay, I have one
cameras.
more. I also have. I have two essentially, but one's a bit strange. I guess it's an honourable mention. But anyway, this one. My dog operates better than you. My dog operates better than you, I think was what they were going
Right,
for.
okay.
But
I was like looking
insane.
so blank then. I was just like,
Yeah, just don't know. Ready? I love you. Anyway, so so this one's a bit kind of sad and weird. I did a rotation on a burn unit in our hospital.
Nice.
There are tons of stories that go around, but I wanted to share my favourite. A pimp lit one of his prostitutes on fire. And so she immediately bear hugged him to cause them both to suffer pretty much the same severe injuries.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, hers included an inhalation burn. They were both being treated in the same ICU, but on opposite ends of the room or whatever.
Yeah.
Weeks later, she ended up coding and she passed away.
Oh.
But 30 minutes after she did so, things got really quiet. But the guy started screaming from his room, "Get her out! Get the goddamn bitch out of my room! She burnt me."
Oh my god. I love it. That's
How
great.
cool!
I hope
So
she killed him.
yeah, like obviously she went back in to get revenge. I mean, just after
Also,
she passes 30 minutes, the girl didn't even make it up the stairs before she's like, "Right, get me in that room."
Also,
Yeah, I love it.
like, nah, you burnt her, bitch. You burnt her.
Yeah, you deserve the haunting.
Yeah, you do.
But can we just put our hands up and give a 2-second minute of silence to the girl for bear hugging him while on fire to cause him the same burn?
Sledge. Who thinks of that? That's great.
Amazing.
It's not you burn me, I burn you, bitch.
Yeah, I'll get you back. I have one more. Do you want to hear?
Yeah,
Go on. Okay. So, this will probably be the last one. My grandmother has a ton of dirty little secrets, but she's been too proper to spill anything. Until one night, where she got a little drunk, she told me about my grandfather's, her husband's family. Essentially, they lived a really poor life. They lived off the streets and they were trying to earn money during Australia's gold rush. Anyway, the family had too many kids and not enough money, so they sold one of their sons to a Chinese businessman.
Okay.
He would have been my grandfather's great uncle, I suppose. No one knew, and she hasn't said anything about it since then. And then someone underneath commented, "I'm a Chinese person minoring in business administration. How can I purchase an Australian kid?" So dark.
Not uncommon though. That used to happen all the time.
I mean, to just sell the kid. I mean, by the time this goes out, people have already heard, but one of my stories, the great Melinda Dawson, she was sold off by a doctor. So, I mean, guess it happens.
Yeah, it does, loads.
Crazy.
Probably still does.
Crazy. Just getting sold off. Terrible. How interesting.
Got too many kids and not enough money.
Not enough money, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Goes hand in hand.
How do you pick? How do you pick which one you sell?
I think it's quite easy. I think all parents would know. I think if you're a parent right now and you're listening to this, I think you had a millisecond to think, And
Oh.
you saw the face of the child that you would sell. You did. You did. There's no denying it.
Every parent listening to this must have had that like blimp of like, yeah, it'd be him.
Exactly. There's no point denying it. Look, I'm not even a parent, but I just know that you'll all go through it, okay?
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, I hope someone does get back to us. I hope someone tweets me like, yeah, I did. I did have a moment of thinking, yeah, Bobby, he's the one that was going to sell. He's a
Bob.
little shit anyway.
We'll send Bob off to the farm.
Amazing. Amazing. Oh my gosh, that was so fun. I love this. I'm so glad we started these because they're so fun. I like the little stories that don't quite make it into the full Saturday podcast, but they're just fun enough to talk about.
Yeah. I've got another
really
weird
good.
story for next minisode as well. I'm saving that one for the next minisode.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, then, if I come across anything, because I did come across some short stories. I might, gather them up and put them in the minisode.
Yeah, if you were like, if you find a story that's really good but it's too short for the like main episode, which is what happened to me, so just like put it in the little one. We're good.
Yeah, sounds great. Oh, that is so fun. And that was so good. I had such a good time. That was great.
It was a lovely half an hour. It was a lovely way to spend 30 minutes with you, my darling. It was lovely.
Yeah, it was good.
Top notch, darling.
So, I guess we will see you Saturday, and then next Wednesday, and then the next Saturday.
We've got a good episode coming on Saturday. All right, guys. Well, that does us for today. Josh, I think we did it. I think we did it. Jess. So, I bloody love orange.
And I fucking love green.
All right, guys. We'll see you on Saturday. Bye.